All right, so we're here with Matthew Hunt. Please tell us about yourself.
Hi guys, my name is Matthew Hunt. I am a master's student in the Hyper lab, specifically studying material science with research interests and cryogenic properties of polymer nanocomposites, specifically 3D printed polymer nanocomposites at liquid hydrogen temperatures.
Very nice. So what team are you exactly a part of for Hyper?
Yeah, so I am on the CRAFT team. Otherwise, that's an acronym for the experiment itself, otherwise known as the Cryogenic Accelerated Fatigue Tester. CRAFT is the first of its kind sort of system capable of doing tensile, fatigue, all sorts of mechanical tests of materials at cryogenic temperatures.
Very nice. So what is your normal-ish day at Hyper now that we're in quarantine at the minute?
Yeah, it's changed a lot. When I first was joined the lab, gosh, almost 5 years ago now. It was the day was, I'd go to my classes, hop down to the thermal fluids research building, where part of the lab is at. I would do homework, hang out with the other graduate students or other undergrads, just kind of chit chat and work on experiments from one of the big first things I did was a build project where I built a safety system and a bottle organization closet for gas bottles so we could have proper safety storage for that. So lots of like hands-on work to, doing just a little rough calculations for some like thermal property stuff. So it's kind of all over the place. It's hard to find a routine, but it's every day can be new if you want it to be. I'll put it that way.
That's what makes it exciting, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
What about Hyper intrigued you?
So I love space. I love renewable energy, but that's actually what got me in. When I came to WSU, I thought I was going to be a roboticist. Quickly learned that all the math required for that is it's not my area of expertise. And what really hooked me was the way Jake talks. If you ever kind of sat down and listened to Jake speak, he makes you think. He gets you to kind of question. He pushes you in a really positive way. And the way I met Jake was actually through the undergraduate research course. So WSU, well, before COVID, in the summer for about a week, they do a undergraduate research seminar for transferring students. I was actually a transfer student, and I think they also do it for WSU students at the time as well. And we got to tour some of the labs, and one of those labs is Jake. And I remember some of the questions he asked us were just very like, what do you think is happening here? Just pushing you. And there was like no wrong answer sort of mentality. It was very welcoming and very warm. And I was so hooked by the way he made me think that I literally emailed him like that night and was like, please, let me at least come in and check this place out. And the rest is history.
That's great. So with that, and you kind of already told us about your experience just like within the Hyper facility. What's your favorite part about Hyper?
Community, 100% the community. I love our research. I always will, but the people make it what it is. It's like a family. We're very a tight knit group. It's where we've grown. We've grown from very small. Like we'd all go to Zoe's for like breakfast on Fridays. To we're 40 people that we're like trying to rope tables in to try to get any lunchtime, and that brings a lot of exciting stuff. And I think what Jake does and what Jake has created along with us is pretty incredible. This inclusivity, this ability to grow and really foster something independently is pretty magnificent.
Absolutely. From that, what is the most important thing that you've learned from Hyper?
Uh, that's a great question. That one was, I saw that and that kind of tripped me up a little bit. I was like, oh man, I have to think about this one. But the ability to fail and fail forward, that's a big, we're talking in kind of society right now. We're always talking about failing forward. That's kind of become this new thing, especially in like maybe academia or maybe in the professional world is, we fail, just keep going, learn from that, take that failure and welcome failure. And that was something I learned early on is that, you may think you have it all figured out, but there's always something that's going to trip you up. And it's a wonderful opportunity to learn and to grow, whether it be professionally or, even personally. There's always opportunities to grow, and that the lab and the openness and the ability to kind of figure things out on your own and not be micromanaged was absolutely critical to that.
As being a grad student and now running your own team, especially with
Mhm.
craft and all the younger students, do you hope that mentality transfers down to them as well?
Oh, absolutely. And I encourage it. And I tell my team all the time, like, guys, it's going to be hard and like, we're going to make mistakes and that's cool. That's exciting. Like be pumped for that. Like be okay. Like when we make mistakes, I'm like, guys, don't even worry about it. We're just going to pick up back up from this. We're going to go. And at least I try to kind of reinforce that positive mentality because, life happens and mistakes happen, whether it be just like, oh, I forgot to, put pipe thread on this one bolt. And now I have a leaky experiment too. Oh no, I broke a critical component. Like things do happen, and how you take that failure and push forward is just so important.
Absolutely. What are you hoping to achieve through Hyper?
For me, it's changed throughout the years. When I was joined, I was just like, this is cool. I'm excited, and not really knowing what cryogenics was. And as I've kind of learned the history and the applications and the growth we've seen in the past 5-10 years in modern cryogenics, I hope to take that and apply it wherever I go. I have a really huge interest in space. My lifelong dream is to become an astronaut. But at the same time, I love renewable energy. I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, in South Puget Sounds, foothills of Mount Rainier. And I love the mountains, and I love hiking and getting in the outdoors and being able to keep that pristine beauty. We're going to have to shift our energy demands, and as our energy demands grow, how we deal with those problems is really going to be important. And hydrogen is potential key solution to that, if not the key solution to that. And so any way I can work with hydrogen to help people grow within it, whether it be in my community or on a world scale or in the private industry, I welcome all challenges like that.
Absolutely. Um, so going along with that and what you want to achieve, what motivates you to work hard towards those? And especially in this time of quarantine where you're kind of just
Yeah.
stuck where you are, how do you keep motivation?
So that's another amazing question, and that's something that's been an issue and it's been a struggle. Is we for me when we hit lockdown back in March, I was stuck in my apartment where your place of relaxation and your place of work are like kind of become one place, and good gosh, it's so hard to deal with, and you get into this routine of being in a constant state of relaxation that like things slip by and life happens. And for me, the biggest thing was time management. Is like that kept me motivated, and realizing that I'm working towards a goal, what my goal is, and not losing sight of that. This at the turn of this new year, I really refocused and on that goal, to kind of pick myself up and really push forward towards the end of my degree. And along with that, just really as a professional, working within a schedule where I can be pursuing my professional goals and have the personal life things, whether that being with friends, loved ones, just having alone time and just time to enjoy your hobbies. That's all important. And people forget how much of a well-rounded person that makes you when you have all those things of life. You can't just have just your professional life. You need to be able to relax and take time to do things for yourself. And that time management skills has been absolutely critical to that.
Yeah. Um, so you touched on this already, but just because of the growth of the lab and everyone just being everywhere and it's like herding cats sometimes,
Sure.
what is the most interesting and funny experience that you've had within the lab?
Oh boy. For me, it was back when we were smaller. We back when we used to go to we still do go to conferences, but the first conference I went to was for the cryogenic engineering conference. Was in Madison, Wisconsin, and that was my first year in the lab,
Mhm.
and I had no research to present. I was just going along for the ride. I got a scholarship to go and went with a bunch of the graduate students, Jake, Patrick, Ian, Eli, Carl, and we all went to Madison, Wisconsin. And I think the best part about that was, or one of them at least, was walking into Jake's old lab and seeing him just kind of seeing that look in his eyes, like nothing's changed, and kind of making the connection, saying why he sometimes runs a very tight ship and how that he makes us perform at such a high level and how beneficial that is to us. And that was really funny. And as a kind of a professional thing, was pretty cool to see.
Very nice. And then finally, if you could give a piece of advice to a person who may want to join Hyper, what would you say?
Reach out. Have that blue sky dream. We always talk about the blue sky, right? So what is your perfect scenario? What is that? That is one of the best ways to kind of put yourself out there and sell yourself, is what you dream about, what makes you excited, what makes you want to work hard. Whether it be working on your bike, one of our new graduate students coming in, literally one of his biggest things working on lock mechanisms on bikes, which going from bikes to cryogenics, yeah, where's that connection? And pretty awesome. And just being passionate about something. If you're passionate about something and you can turn that into contributing to our community, there could be a spot for you. Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Matthew. It was wonderful talking to you, and
Awesome.
thanks for
Thank
dropping
you.
by.
Awesome. Thank you, Marcia.